Delegates, hello and welcome to the 6th iteration of McLean Model UN's conference. My name is Leah Siegel, and I am ecstatic to serve as McMUNC's Chief of Staff this year. Although we are unable to come together for this conference in person, I am so grateful that we are able to hold this conference even if it's online. Since March, we have been planning for this conference and adjusting it based on the pandemic. It has been a long and arduous process, but we are so excited for all of our work to come to fruition. We have had to think through every detail, from how to do public and private directives to what platform we could use for the conference. Needless to say, starting from scratch and figuring out the world of MUN through an online conference has been a challenge. Since 7th grade, I have been pulled into the world of MUN, and I have been captivated by all the different aspects of it. Debating about prominent issues I have cared about all my life was something that I loved to do, and MUN allowed me to do it in a more public setting. Coming into high school, I was nervous about MUN and what it would look like. However, through MUN, I found a community and met people who would later become some of my closest friends. I was able to develop my public speaking skills and my writing skills within a few short months, and I felt more confident in myself. MUN has given me so much, and I'm so excited to be here today speaking to all of you, able to give back to the MUN community. I hope that this conference brings you fascinating debate and that you were able to learn about everything and anything that you didn't know before. Thank you.
Hi delegates and sponsors, my name is Cynthia and I'm your Director of Hospitality for the 6th iteration of McMUN. I hope you all are staying safe and doing well during this unprecedented time, but also after so many months of planning, I am also very excited to see the results of all the hard work we put into this conference. Because we have moved to a virtual setting for our conference this year, we unfortunately will not be having a charity or doing candy grants. All delegates will be using the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra platform for this conference, which Zayan, our Director of Technology, will go into detail about how to use. If you have any other questions regarding how to use this platform, there will be several tech staffers in each committee to help you out when needed. Even though we are hosting a virtual conference, we are expecting that delegates demonstrate diplomacy and respect just as you would in an in-person conference. Having been to a few virtual conferences so far, I understand how weird it may feel, especially if this is your first virtual conference. But I wish you all the best of luck at this conference, and of course, I hope that you will all take away something from this weekend.
Hi everyone, my name is Zayan Baig. I'm a senior at McLean High School, and I'm so excited to be serving as the Director of Technology for McMUNC 6.
Hi, my name is Zhao, and I'm the Vice Director of Technology. And together, we're proud to present the 6th Annual McLean Model United Nations Conference.
Over the past few months, Andrew and I have been working tirelessly, hammering out every detail of what a virtual conference might look like.
Through our combined expertise, we hope to be able to create an experience as close to an in-person conference. Despite it being held in a virtual environment we have yet to navigate, we sincerely hope that this year's McMUNC will live up to its preceding expectations. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I will now be showing you how to navigate Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. If you attend a Fairfax County school, you are probably already familiar with this platform. If not, it's relatively simple, and I'm sure after watching this video, you'll be more than comfortable going into your first committee session this weekend. So, once you click the guest link for your committee, it's going to ask you to type in your name to join as a guest. For identification purposes, we would like you to put your delegation name first, and then in parentheses, your first and last name. So as I've done here, for example, if I'm representing the United States of America, I would put that first, and then my first and last name in parentheses after. And then once I do, you can just join the session. And now I'm in committee. So the first thing you're going to want to do once you enter is press this purple button over here to open the Collaborate panel. And I recommend you keep that up the whole time, just because it gives you access to all of the features that are available. The next thing you should do is press this Attendees button. And this will show you the list of all people that are in committee. So under the moderator section, you will find the chairs, the vice chairs, co-chairs, or any staff members. And then in the participant section, you will find all delegates in committee. The next thing I want to go over is the 4 features available at the bottom of the screen via these icons. This first feature is your status and settings. And the most important part here are the agree and disagree buttons. So whenever we're voting on anything in committee, we're going to be using these 2 buttons, whether it's a procedural matter, voting on a motion, voting on working papers in general assemblies and specialized, and also voting on public directives. You'll be using the agree and disagree buttons to indicate whether you are in support of or against whatever is being asked at hand. And if you are not voting on a procedural matter and you have the option to abstain, so if you're voting on like a working paper, then you can also use the confused icon to indicate that you're abstaining. And we know that means you're not. We know that means that like you're not actually confused. We just want you to indicate that via the icon, just so that we have an idea of who actually is abstaining versus who is just like not voting at all. The next thing I want to go over really briefly is the audio and the video features. And during committee, we encourage you to have your video on as much as possible, however much you're comfortable with. And to share that, you just press that icon and share video. And you'll see me in the bottom left corner. That's how it'll appear on your end of things. And then I have another tab that'll show you what it will look like on someone else's end. Keep in mind that your video is not going to be up the entire time, even if you have it on. What Blackboard Collaborate normally does is it only keeps the active speakers or the most recent speakers up on the screen. So even if your camera is on, you won't always be up, in case you were concerned. The next thing I want to go over is the audio. And you just press that button. You can hear me, the feedback, all of that. Simple as that. And if you want to speak, if you want to give speeches, if you have anything you need to say in committee, you can just use that button to do so. The next thing I want to go over is the last of those 4 icons, which is the raise hand feature. And this feature will be the equivalent of raising your placard. So as you can see, all of the delegations are already named by their country, so it's easy to identify. If you want to raise your placard to speak, raise your placard to give a motion or anything like that, just press the button and it'll show up to the chairs and they'll be able to know that. The same way you would use a placard in committee, you would use in this online form with the raise hand feature. All right, the next thing I want to go over is the chat feature. And you can chat in multiple different ways. So the first way is to everyone. If you have something to say to everyone, you can just be like, hello. You can just send that. As you can see in my other example tabs, you will see hello was sent to everyone. And then probably more usefully is you can send chats individually. So let's say Mexico just gave a really cool speech and I wanted to congratulate them on that. I'll just be like, I can just send Mexico a chat through this chat bar. Just type in Mexico, press their name, and then just say, hey, nice speech. That message will only go to Mexico. It will not go to anyone else in the committee. It's a great way to replace the paper passing during committee, especially during like that first committee session. It works really well. And yeah, that's how you can send chats between people in committee. The next thing I will be showing you is how to use breakout rooms for unmods. I'm going to pause the recording really quickly and set that up, and then yeah, I'll be able to show you that. All right, So breakout rooms have just opened in this committee. So if I want to join, let's say I wanted to join group 1, see what's going on there, you can just press this button to the right, which shows join group 1. And you're in, simple as that. I'm not sure if I clarified this, but we're going to be using this for unmoderated caucuses, and we're going to have a certain number of groups depending on the sizes of each committee that you guys can all shuffle in between, depending on who you want to talk to during those earlier unmoderated caucuses, and eventually form blocks with. And let's say I'm in group 1 and I decide, hey, maybe this isn't really working out. I can easily switch between groups. So let's say I want to check out group 2, same thing, just press that button. And it'll transfer me to group 2. And keep in mind, in all of these rooms, you have all of the same permissions. You can share your video, you can share audio, you can share any of the permissions that you had in the main room, you will also have in here. And yeah, that about wraps things up for the introduction to Blackboard Collaborate. If you ever have a question, tech related in committee, your chairs are there to help you out. We will also have tech staff in all of the committees. So if you ever have an issue, there will be people to help you out. So don't worry if you didn't totally grasp everything after this video. Regardless, I hope you all have an amazing time at McMUNC. The Secretariat has already reiterated this, but we've all put a lot of effort into making this virtual conference as amazing as it can be. And I hope you guys enjoy it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Peter Awabdeh, and I'll be serving as your Director of Crisis for McMUNC 6. Entering Model UN in middle and high school, I started off as a GA delegate. Enticed by the ability to collaborate with others to solve a pressing world issue, I truly became someone interested in becoming a problem solver. As I attended more conferences, my goals shifted to ones of competition rather than passion. I noticed that this mindset was simply failing as I did not achieve the goals I had set for myself in Model UN. I realized I needed to take a passionate approach similar to the one that enticed me to join middle school Model UN. By becoming much more adaptable, accessible, diplomatic, social, and intuitive, I credit it to Model UN. When I cleansed myself from my competitive mindset to one of passion and diplomacy, I achieved the results I wanted and much, much more. My eager passion for Model UN allowed me to start competing in crisis committees. Fascinated by the ability to use my individual and collective powers to change the flow of committee, crisis truly simulated my experiences in the real world. As you enter your crisis committee, don't be the one who sends in a private or public directive for the sake of doing so, but rather think of the consequences that your directive might have on committee and try to benefit your committee as a whole. Today, our wonderful crisis chairs, co-chairs, czars, and co-czars will be working round the clock to provide you with a committee that you'll never forget. Having worked with these wonderful people, I noticed their curiosity and determination, which truly allow for a memorable committee experience. I know they will provide you all with the fast-paced committee you seek from crisis, along with that touch of surprise. I cannot wait to enter your committees and hear the wondrous collaboration and secrecy in the room. Thank you.
Hello, fellow delegates, esteemed sponsors, and friends. My name is Samir Chowdhury, and I'm beyond humbled and thrilled to be serving as the Director General for the 6th Annual McLean Model United Nations Conference. From cheesy hooks over black tea, green tea, and national sovereignty, to mid-committee tic-tac-toe battles with Kyla, our Secretary General and a frequent partner of mine, it's really the small quirks of MUN that have stood out to me these past couple years. In all honesty, when I was younger, I hated public speaking. Hands quaking, voice stuttering, and legs shaking, I was always reluctant to give presentations in class in elementary school, and even in parts of middle school. Now, I'm sure you're expecting the prevalent cliche about how MUN has built my confidence, public speaking skills, and changed my life for the better. However, I want to emphasize how defining and transforming this activity truly is for all of us, whether we realize it or not. From giving presentations to CEOs, leading countless peers towards a shared, purposeful goal, and even having the confidence to work with UN executives, I've often took for granted how these abilities of mine truly stemmed from Model United Nations. I ask you all to reflect now. When was the last time you gave a fire presentation, was able to lead a successful group project, or able to sustain a conversation about pertinent global issues? All of the skills required in these scenarios are developed and bolstered through MUN. We take for granted how deeply MUN has changed us for the better, and how we will utilize these core soft skills for the rest of our lives. In my opinion, the quest to gavel often interferes in our appreciation of the ability that this extracurricular activity has fostered. However, when I imagine myself in 10 years, do I remember the plethora of gavels I've won? Or do I remember the 3 a.m. conversations in hotel rooms with my newfound family, the cringy deli dances, the countless friends I've made, and the core skills that MUN has honed for me? It's the latter. Delegates, we are all connected to each other through this activity, through high school Model United Nations. I know the urge to win an award can be overwhelming at times, even often exacerbated by the success of peers. And this is okay. If you want to gavel, go get that gavel. If you want to give a speech about carbon-eating bacteria, go give a speech about carbon-eating bacteria. It's important to find motivation in this activity, and any drive that propels you to partake in these grueling debates, hours of research, and seemingly never-ending conferences. However, and this is a big however, do not let this urge to award cloud your appreciation of the skills you are developing in the process. For it is these core abilities that you will carry on for the rest of your life. Thank you, and I'm thrilled to be introducing our Secretary General and my partner in crime these past couple years, Kyla Duggal.
Hi everyone, my name is Kyla Duggal and I have the honor of serving as the Secretary General of the 6th Annual Model United Nations Conference hosted by McLean High School. From 7th to 12th grade, Model UN has been continuously present in my life. Little 7th grade me, wearing a hot pink blazer and attempting to sponsor not 1, but 3 working papers, had no idea she would be where I am today. I had no idea that years later after that first conference, I would be serving as the Secretary General of the conference where I won my first gavel. I also had no idea I would ever host a virtual conference. Although adapting to our new virtual environment has been hard for everyone, I am eternally grateful for my fellow Secretariat members who have helped me make McMUNC 6 a reality. From registration to organizing virtual committees, McMUNC 6 would not be what it is without their help. I would also like to take some time to thank our sponsor, Ms. Chowdhury, who has gone above and beyond to help McMUNC 6 be successful. We have worked tirelessly since last May to continue McMUNC's legacy. As you enter committee this evening, I hope that you see this virtual setting not as an obstacle in your path, but as a new challenge to conquer. This weekend, we will be working to ensure that everything goes as smoothly as possible, but we still ask for your patience and understanding. I know that many of the aspects of Model UN that we hold so dear to our hearts is not possible this year. But the McMUNC 6 Secretariat has put in the hours to ensure that the fruitful debates that you will have and the friendships that you will make are still possible this weekend. As delegates, I hope you take the advice given by my fellow Secretariat members to heart. Strive to succeed by bringing others up, not down. This year, I hope we continue the McMUNC tradition of innovative ideas, diplomacy, and healthy competition. With that, by the power vested in me by the McMUNC 6 Secretariat, I hereby declare McMUNC 6 open.